Hey guys, to start, I want to talk about what I thought was meaningful, and that was kind of the amount of resolution that we had by the end of the play. I'd say most characters were genuinely happy with how things turned out, and I'd say the audience is also in that same way, sort of happy with how positively things ended compared to maybe the last play we read. So definitely a difference there that I liked. Moving on to some themes, I'd say primarily most obvious one was like the challenges of love or romance, starting with Helena, who is in love with Demetrius, and he doesn't feel the same way about her. He likes Hermia, and so Hermia also likes Lysander, and she's being instructed to marry someone else. Obviously, that's some complications there. Next, I'd say there's a theme of like mischievousness, trickery, kind of deception in where Puck mainly is, playing these tricks on the characters with who he's kind of making them fall in love with, and I'd say that's somewhat deliberate in that he finds, some things amusing throughout the play with all the confusion happening. Finally, a third theme I'd say was like the amount of coincidence and chance that we, witnessed throughout the play. Like for example, when Lysander awakes, of course the first face he sees is Helena, so it makes the play more interesting and confusing that way. Pretty dramatic, and I think that moves into the point about meta theater, how we're reading reading a play within a play, and so it kind of further distances the audience from what's happening in the play from reality. So the play is kind of more dramatic, and therefore it allows for maybe more unpredictable things to occur, and I guess overall it's taken less seriously. Moving on to how gender is kind of played out in this, I think the women have sort of a stronger role in that they're kind of, the play is based on what the women want and how they are kind of choosing to live their lives based, or rather than how the men are telling them to live their lives. For example, the Duke wants Hermia to marry Demetrius, but she says no, and so she makes her own decision. She kind of rebels, and then in the end, she does kind of get her way. So I think it shows some differences there. Two questions I have. First of all, why does Helena tell Demetrius that Hermia and Lysander are like planning their elope? Because wouldn't that make him just want to go, chase after them? I don't see exactly why she thought that would help her. But and then a second question is, the Duke kind of enforces like a rather harsh punishment on Hermia should she not marry Lysander. I was a little confused with that, but maybe that does kind of tie back into some gender roles and how like he expects her to do something.